Good afternoon, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year to all of you. We're here on the ZAbokaShow. Tonight we have Raymond Montes and we have Reverend Calvin Williams here with us. And we're set to have a very good time. You know, both of you, when I was a boy, maybe about 30 years ago, let me tell you, around Christmas time, I wanted everything. And at that particular time, I wanted everything and got pretty much nothing, okay? And to where I sat today, able to make other children happy and to influence someone's life in a positive manner, it feel real good, feel real good. Just hope that others would have the same spirit and do the same thing to reach out to others and to help them out. What was Christmas like, Raymond, when you were a boy in Port-au-Prince?
Oh, man. Christmas was Christmas at this time. At the time when I was 10 years old, at this time, you know, you're talking about in the 50s, 1950s, 1951, 52. People had respect for Christianity. People had respect for what you call the principle of the teaching of Christ. I'm Catholic, you know. That's the way most Haitian was. About 80% of Haitian Catholic, you know. Now it might be in the 70 or 65 because the American entity like Baptist, Pentecostal, stuff like that start to get larger and larger, okay? But I'm talking about this time, and that was, everybody was so in love with the Christmas spirit. And when you sleep at night, when you was a kid, and they was telling you then the Santa will come and put something under your pillow, you know, some gift and stuff like that. It was beautiful, man.
Oh yeah,
but now they don't have that anymore, man.
No, it was more of a family,
yeah,
a unit, a family unit with a lot of dignity, regardless to what you had. They shared with each other, and it was a sharing of gifts. It was a season of gift giving.
Oh, yeah.
And people sitting down, breaking bread, eating with each other, dining with each other, telling stories that transpired over the course of the year, you know. And it was just great. Even if
it was beautiful.
Oh, it was. It was.
But now, right now, what you call the
modern age,
the modern teaching of the Bible, the what you call the liberation movement inside Christianity, man, messed up everything, man.
Yeah, it did. Reverend William, what about you? What was your story around the Christmas time?
Well, the stories around Christmas time for me, grandma. I always revert back to grandma. It's just good being in the house, coming from a family of 5, but we was raised pretty much with my uncles and aunts, so it was a big family. I was the firstborn grandchild, so for me, it's just the coziness of just having family around from the South. That's just how we are down there. We just love everybody. We greet everybody. We're shaking hands. We respect everybody. So seeing those times and having those times, it's the warmth and the care that tends to resonate when you're around family like that.
Yes. Now, when you say the South, where in the South?
Tennessee, Memphis.
Oh, you're in Memphis.
Yeah.
Oh, you want cheating a little bit there. Memphis is a big town, a big city. Well, yes, indeed. I was actually, I grew up 70 miles south of Memphis. Okay, and we had we like raised our turkeys and chickens and all of that. You know, when you had a turkey for Christmas, you were a big shot.
Yeah.
Because we usually would have like a hen or a couple of chickens or what have you. You know, If you didn't pick cotton and raise to put money up during that time, during the cotton picking season, which was the last season for farming, you were just pretty much out of luck. But one thing that I liked about it, the neighbors, whatever they had, whether it was a preserving fruit,
Right.
if they had livestock, if they had a pig or cow that they slaughtered, or turkeys or chicken, they would always share with their
Everybody
neighbors.
ate.
Everybody
Everybody
ate.
ate,
No
yes.
one got left out during that season. And someone got a toy, even if it was nothing but one toy pistol or a little car. They got something. The spirit was just really there. And we see our children now. When I was a boy, we was 11 of us in the family at one time, 11 children at home at one time. We would sit around the table and we would talk about various things that transpired that particular day. Everybody had a story. My mother would ask you, James, what did you do today? If it was on Saturdays, you went out and chopped wood, or you worked on the farm, or you worked at someone's home, whatever. We had a story to tell. You didn't go in the back room and take your plate and go back there and have your own DVD, your Nintendo, all that. You sat right at that table.
That's right.
Everybody ate the same thing.
Yeah, right.
The same thing. Only reason why you got away with eating something different from any other family member, you had an allergy or something.
Exactly.
And it had to be a note from the doctor, okay? It was one family unit. And I think the love of Christmas is to share the love toward one another and the camaraderie that we have with each other, and to extend goodwill to family members and to our friends and neighbors down the streets. And you'd have people where my mother would, grandmother rather, she would cook Christmas food, and she'd have a shoebox. And she would put cake and pies and stuff and wrap it up. And she would send it up north to her sons, okay?
Right.
Because grandma figured that her sons wouldn't get the kind of cooking from their wives, or either if they didn't have any. She made certain that her boys had a good meal right here in Chicago or New York, wherever they live. And so when we see children, with sad faces, now talking about a $400 gift, that was $400. $400 took care of the whole community. Yeah, you get with $400. That was 400 toys.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
And unappreciative. And the reason why they're unappreciative is because they don't know any better. They haven't been taught any better. We talked about this here.
And you give the kids a toy for $500, and he play with it for 15 days, man.
Let's go.
And he just throw that stuff out.
Yeah.
That's right. He wants something else.
I see that over by the house.
That's right. He wants something else. That's right. Because in the 30th the book, the 30th Proverbs, it has in there talked about the twin horse leashes, and he talked about never enough, always more, always more. Never satisfied, okay? And that's what happens in our society, is because when we have the haves, you give them too much, and the have-nots don't have enough.
Yeah.
So we have a clash going on there. There's no love. There's no spirit spreaded around there. And it takes us to the point to where we are now. When you talked about, there's a coming of a new generation with a new breed and new spirit, how the community is going to evolve, how things are going to change, how it should be different and better for people on down the road. And we talked about this here off camera. I'd like for you to just talk about that. Tell me about, you've said that many times about how you see that this change is going to come about, and it's going to be for the betterment of the community.
Oh, definitely. I think what we're seeing right now, the wave of the people rising up and finally taking charge of their destiny, going out, voting, and going out just seeing a difference and change within the community. I do believe that the time has come that you will see a great change, because it's just like the great falling away. The system is being torn down, the mantle is coming down, and people are tending to wake up. I talk to people every day and the interest in this election has quickened them. But it has to come with a part of education, because I listened to them. And I always, they was asking, how people voted, because I always make it an example. I said, do you know we vote judges in? We retain judges? And they were like, yeah, really? I said, yeah. I said, but I'm kind of a little old-fashioned. When this comes down to retaining judges, I go down and go, no, 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 no. I put check no for every last one of them. Mm-hmm. Because I know, seeing the plight in my community, all the young boys, young Latinos going to jail, you cannot tell me, you cannot adequately tell me, with your conscience being true that it is, that it's not some biasness going on there. And if it's not biasness, it's just absolute stupidity, because you have different variations of the law of punishment. I have studied, I have a degree. I don't have a degree in law, but I have a law clerk certificate, which meant I spent a certain amount of time shepherdizing cases and researching cases. And my teacher at the time, Catherine Mann Herring, that was her name, she was teaching, and she was saying, I'm just a firm believer in that if you did it wrong, you just go in there and complete your case, and then that should be done with it. But I said, but what about the punishment? See, we have been penalized so much that the people have fallen away and think that nothing is going to change. Now they're seeing the changes. You having the Burge incident that's coming about. You're starting to see the police and things getting indicted and going to jail. They're seeing it more now. I mean, they, down through the years, some have went, some haven't. But I think this next upcoming change and vast process that we're going to see in the next coming elections across the board, you're going to see some changes, because people are tired. They're fed up. And I still maintain and would say, this probably would be Daley's last administration. He's got a certain amount of years, but I guarantee you, some more dirt going to come out on him before his election. I got a feeling that they're holding back. And this a new administration that's going to come in under the Obama administration, what they're not doing on the state level and the local level, I think that from the federal level, it's going to come down and get them.
Well, see, I want to tell you something. Now, personally, I believe that politicians should only serve 2 terms. That should be the max. Okay.
I think
when I was a boy growing up in the South, you were allowed 2 terms only. If they could, although they would take a constitutional amendment in order to change it on the federal level. Okay. But the state level, it could actually be done through the state legislature. Okay. To have 2 terms, that means that you will get in, and then you would do your business for the interests of the people, and you won't become tainted. See what's happening now? Politicians.
Well, they need to put a referendum on.
Right. We need a referendum to
that way leave it up to the people.
Right, to leave it to the people to do this. And I'm going to tell you why it's so important to do this. Most politicians get in office now, and they become career politicians for their own selfish reasons. They go for a pension. Mm-hmm. They vote the amount of money that they should have for their pension for in later years. Okay. Right. They run state government and the federal government the way that they want to their own personal liking. Mm-hmm. But if you maintain 2 terms, that you in there and you out of there. What if you did good in the 2 years, then history is good to you. If you didn't, history is not good to you. But you allow others the chance to come in with fresh ideas and to move the agenda. Okay, when you have someone who's been in office for 30 years, he becomes stale. Mm-hmm. His ideas become stale. His motivation becomes stale. Who lose? The people. That's okay, right. So that's one of the things should be done. The other thing is this.
The change. Well, let's talk about the change.
Okay.
How you see the change? You see the change different from I see the change, because every 4 years I always see change in the United States.
Okay.
Every 4 years.
Yeah,
it's not that Obama situation.
Well, we would say in the most part on the president on the federal level, you see change maybe every 8 years. Every once in a while, every 8 years. Every once in a while, there may end up being a 1-termer, but for the most part, their 2-termers are better. Your United States senators and your congressmen, they stay in 3 terms, 4, 5, 6 terms, okay? Right. Some congressmen and senators die in office, okay? They die in office. Right. Jim Thompson was a 4-time governor, 4-term governor, okay? 4 term. Edgar came in 2 terms, all right? George Ryan came in 2 terms, all right? So on and on. But I think when you talk about change, you talk about change in a man's thought process.
Yeah.
Okay, what can I do for the people opposed to what can I do for myself?
That's right.
And we have allowed this. See, we cannot, as voters, we cannot have a, what's that word? We cannot, when you let, well, not being complacent, when someone lets you go, you allow someone to get away with something. See, we cannot walk away to say that we are clean ourselves because we tolerated this.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, we were a part of this. We allowed this to happen. Okay, so if we're going to be a part of the change process, that means to change. That means that we have to rid certain people at certain times. Okay, and that's what we have to do. But in terms of where we are going now, I'll never forget old man John Stroger, single-handedly worked hard, tirelessly to get Cook County Hospital rebuilt. This the John Stroger Hospital. How he had all types of opposition. But you know what? He had a passion for poor people. Something that most politicians you don't see nowadays. He went to his grave advocating for the Cook County Hospital, okay? There's no passion in politics, in government. It's basically, what's my legacy? Who am I going to get to write my autobiography? All this type of nonsense, okay? So when you have people like you, Raymond, who dare to brave this cold weather out here, the wind chill factor is somewhere in the 0. We both, you from the west side, and Raymond Wade from the south side of Chicago, come here to share ideas and to talk about some of the needs and the aspirations of the people, what can be done to help. This is a very serious undertaking. That means that you've given yourself, sacrificed yourself to give information to the community.
We go outside of selfishness.
That's right, to do this, okay?
To do that.
This to pay the price, to be able to come here to the studio like yourself, to park 2 or 3 blocks away from the studio, to brave the cold, to come here to tell people what your version of what's happening, the recommendation that you make to people about what needs to happen, okay? When Bobby Rush, Fred Hampton, and all of them back then, years ago, would have a freedom school project where they taught people how to read and write. They would give food in lieu of their freedom school programs, okay? After school programs, they call them now, but they were freedom schools then. Because when you educate the mind, you free the soul, okay? Yeah. And that's what happened. You take a bag of food home with you so that your sisters and brothers could eat.
Right.
Those were the kind of men that we had back then, okay? Now, you reach your hand out to them, they'll grab your hand and pull the skin off of it and try to get what's in your hand. That's the type of people that we have representing us, okay? Back when, during the civil rights era in 1968, Martin Luther King was assassinated. I went to Marks, Mississippi. They had what was called the Mule Train, the Poor People Campaign. We went from Marks, Mississippi to Chamberlain, Georgia, outside of Atlanta, on Mule Train, okay? The American Humane Society had the mules impounded. We had to get on trains and to go into Washington, D.C. There was another contention where on Greyhound buses that went there ahead of us. They built shanties to dramatize the plight of the poor man from the rural South because he had inadequate housing, he was malnourished with improper food or no food at all.
Right.
So we dramatized to the nation the plight of the poor man. Let me tell you what happened. They sent men like Andrew Young, Lawrence Gillard, A. Philip Randolph, all of the elitist civil rights leaders into the South. And when they went into the South, they lived in homes of the people who dared not to get involved, not to offend the white power structure. They became a part of that community. they legitimize those people in the town by saying we aren't going to get involved. But people like me and you who had very limited means, we went out on the plantation, dared the plantation owner to keep the woman or the man on the plantation from voting or from the register to vote. Worked hard for the Voters' Rights Act, got beat, some got killed. Decided after this is over, we are going to run for office because we have made our mark in life, or we're going to do something positive into the community. Guess what happened? The same people who were in compliance or in complicity with the power structures in the South, they were the people that their children and them got elected to public office. People like you and I, we got nothing.
Right.
Nothing trickled down to us.
Right.
Okay, same thing that's happening here.
Right.
Yeah.
The family of dynasties. You know the names of the different kids in this town. Their children, they get elected because of your name, black and white families, okay? Not just white, black and white.
Right.
Pretty much done absolutely nothing.
We was talking about change, man.
Yeah, change. But now we're going to talk about change. Now, you know how you change that? We go back to what Reverend Williams is saying. You got to do what you say about that new breed.
Got to educate them.
Got to educate.
Got to educate.
Okay. Now, how are we going to do that?
What I'm saying is the last election we see things really that this is a phenomenon. This is something we never see before.
Right.
The guy is really well educated, and I never see for the past 34 years I'm in the United States, I never see a guy well manage his election like Barack Obama do. The guy is a genius, and how he beat the Clinton machine. The Clinton machine, who had all them black preacher with him, them Jesse Jackson, then Al Sharpton, all them guy was with the Clinton. He beat them, man. When Obama beat the Clinton machine, I said, wow.
Well, 2 years from now, I'll give you my spin on that. Right now, I'm going to reserve comment, okay, on that particular aspect of it, because there's something a little bit more deeper than that, okay? We applaud the fact that the community at large prevailed. Obama was able to inspire so many young people,
right,
so many people of color, so many people who had been disenfranchised from participating in the political arena. But there is another side to that saga, okay? But we won't deal with that right now. We're going to ask for things to continue.
But we got to
on.
give him credit.
Okay.
He's a very brilliant,
very
intelligent guy.
Anytime you can come from nowhere and become president of the United States, you deserve more than credit.
Yeah,
you deserve the torch, okay? The torch, the Olympic torch, okay? That's not, but there are some other things that went on there. But anyway, the same situation, the same serious scenario that happened with Barack Obama. Our people have to be free in local communities so that little Johnny and little Sally can be privy to being city councilmen, state representatives, state senators, and mayors, and even governors, okay, a United States senator. Right now we have monopoly. We have certain families who are controlling, dynasties who are controlling politics in our neighborhood, even the neighborhood where you live, okay? You live in the 7th Ward.
Yeah.
There's a dynasty in the 7th Ward, okay? All right? So we have to be conscious of these things.
Right.
And we have to teach our young people, when you go to school, be well prepared, be articulate, be innovative, be creative, be assertive, and to get out here and to do these things, okay? I admire one thing about you. One thing in particular I admire a lot about you, but you chose to go in the field of law. You can't go in a better field because law is knowledge. Law is power, okay?
During the time I was going in, I actually saw the ugly truth.
Okay.
They got one thing on the books, but they do another.
We know this.
And that kind of turned my stomach right there.
Yes.
But when you sit back and you start shepherdizing all these cases, you understand. And just as they pointed out about the situation with our governor, on the law standpoint, they have excerpts that they can bring about. But still, you got to go with the basic rule of law. There's due process. He has not had the proper due process. He will not get he's not going to be able to get a fair trial. Everybody know about it. The attorney who challenged him, a lot of things he said that he should not have said on ethics alone. Come on, we need to be conscious of what's happening.
But we also, in the prior segment, we also recognize that the plantation owner has the desire to install his daughter as governor. And he just so happens to be white from the southwest side. The governor just so happens to be white. So it crosses racial line when it comes to power. What is a Machiavellian type of thing would say, power obsessed? You know, I want to have the essence, the ultimate control of power, and that's basically what it's about. And they will have people thinking about, hey, this guy, he's really corrupt. This guy has not done near as much as some of these other crooked people. They never got caught.
Right.
They never got caught. But they are connected, whether they're judges, whether they're mayors, whether they're senators, whether they're governors, city councilmen. There is enough corruption to go around in the state of Illinois, more than enough corruption. Okay, Raymond, we got 2 minutes. Let's do it.
Okay, what I would say is, one more time, like you say about change, I don't think that should go to seem like we do in that election. People just go by emotion. I see that election was only emotional. What I'm saying is, we didn't know nothing about nobody, man.
But it carried a 400 years of baggage. That was emotional to the point where it was uplifting, something to look forward to, something to say that I, in my lifetime, would have never dreamed that this would happen as you started before. Most elections in this country are emotional. People listen at others and they hear people and they charge them up. But this one had a unique purpose, and it served its purpose.
It was like Harold Washington when he first
There you go.
There you go.
Took place.
There you go.
I was in the military at the time, but that alone, it brought it back to the nostalgia that we once had about our beloved mayor, which we know that is coming about a change again.
Yeah.
That's why I said the people has to be educated, and the people are going to rise up, because we looking at the numbers. The mayor loses numbers. The mayor loses numbers every election, and not just black folk, white people. They don't want him, so I don't think he's going to make the next one.
I think what should happen. We got 1 minute here. What should happen is that people are going to have to really think. You're going to have to talk with your children. You're going to have to read more. You're going to have to investigate more. And you're going to have to put in your mindset that the politician that you have in office now, you got to get rid of them. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. It has been fun. We've had a good time here today with Raymond Montes, the moderator. We've had very good time with Reverend Calvin Williams from the Great West Side, although I'm from the better side, the South Side. And listen, this is Reverend Phipps here with his big, good-looking self saying, when you see this show, it'll be around Christmas time. I want y'all to eat good. I want you to feel good. And listen, if you got anything to give me, you know, in the terms of Christmas, do contact me. I love you all, and I thank you so much. And we're going to get on another footing next year. We'll have a show again of the middle of January or before the middle, and hopefully we'll have President Todd Stroger from the Cook County Board of Commissioners here, the president of Cook County Board. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Goodwill to all men.
All right.